Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jaren. Today we're going to solve a classic Leetcode problem, max consecutive ones. This is a very common array traversal problem. It not only tests our understanding of basic array operations, but also serves as the foundation for many advanced problems. If you are familiar with the solution to this problem, you'll find that this technique can be very useful in many other Leetcode problems as well. In this video, I'll walk you through first, understanding what the problem is asking. Then, I'll introduce the most intuitive solution. Next, we'll look at how to further optimize it. Finally, we'll analyze the time and space complexity. This way, you'll fully master this problem. If you like this kind of Leetcode problem-solving video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest content. All right, let's get started. Let's take a look at the problem description. Given a binary array consisting of only zeros and ones called nums, please find the maximum number of consecutive ones in the array and return that number. Here, consecutive ones refers to a sequence of ones that are not interrupted by any zeros. Let's look at a few examples. First example, input nums is 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, output is 3. That's because the longest consecutive ones are 1, 1, 1 with a length of 3. Let's look at the second example. Input nums is 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Output is 2. The longest consecutive ones are 1, 1, so the answer is 2. Now let's look at a boundary case. Input nums is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. In this case, the number of consecutive ones is 6 because the entire array is filled with ones. And there's another special case. Input nums is 0, 0, 0, 0. In this case, the array has no ones at all, so the maximum number of consecutive ones is 0. Through these examples, we can confirm that the key of the problem is to traverse the array and find the longest length of consecutive ones. Now let's look at the simplest solution. The concept of this method is very simple. We just need to go through the array, use a variable called count to track the current streak of ones, and another variable max count to store the longest streak we've found so far. If we encounter a 1, we increase count by 1. If we encounter a 0, we reset count to 0 and move on to the next element. The core concept of this method is scan through the entire array and increase count every time we see a 1. When we see a 0, reset count to 0. Let's simulate how this code runs. Suppose nums is 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. At the start, count is 0 and max count is also 0. First number is 1, count becomes 1, max count becomes 1. Second number is 1, count becomes 2, max count becomes 2. Third number is 0, count resets to 0, max count remains 2. Fourth number is 1, count becomes 1, max count is still 2. Fifth number is 1, count becomes 2, max count is still 2. Sixth number is 1, count becomes 3, max count updates to 3. That's the final answer. The time complexity of this method is O(n) because we only traverse the nums array once. And we only use two variables, max count and count, so the space complexity is O(1). In fact, there's no room for further optimization in this problem because we've already solved it in a single pass. But we can use enumerate to make the code cleaner. The logic of this Python code is exactly the same as the previous solution, but using enumerate makes the code more concise and easier to read. This method still has O(n) time complexity because we only go through the array once. And the space complexity remains O(1), since we didn't use any extra data structures. This type of problem is actually very common on Leetcode. For example, we can extend this idea to solve problems like maximum consecutive ones with up to k zeros, or find the longest sequence if you can flip at most 1 0 to 1. These variations require us to use sliding windows or two pointers to track the current valid subarray while scanning the array. If you're interested in these variations, let me know in the comments, and I'll make dedicated videos to explain them. Today, we learned how to solve Leetcode Problem 485, max consecutive ones. We used a simple traversal to find the longest streak of ones. We learned how to track state using variables and confirmed that this method is already the optimal solution. This is a classic linear scan problem. Once you understand this problem, you'll find that many similar problems can be solved using similar techniques. If you found this video helpful, please help me by liking, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you won't miss more LeetCode problem-solving tutorials. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment. See you next time.